So the plan today is to paint a start collecting box, and I have a surprise for you guys. In this video, Harder and STEENBECK is giving away 2 airbrushes, and all you have to do to be part of the giveaway is to be a subscriber. And if you already are, you have to leave a comment and let us know why you deserve one. Maybe it's because you ate 10 potatoes today, or maybe your dog ate your airbrush. Either way, leave a comment, be subscribed, might get one. Acu Painter. Hey Lucas.
Hello.
So, you guys know him by his real name, Lucas Potter. I think that's the name. Anyway, he decided to become part of the Squidmar team, mainly as an editor and a filmer, but he's too good of a painter to not be part of the videos. So are you happy to be part of the Squidmar team? Anyway, what's the plan today?
The plan today is to paint the new combat patrol.
Is this the...
Oh, no. Oh.
So the plan is to paint the Drukhari Start collecting box. We know that there's a new one now, but it doesn't matter. We're gonna show you all of the techniques we use, all of the tricks to paint something fast for an army and to have something to play with in just a day. So how fast do we think it's gonna take?
14 hours.
So I don't think there's any more need for talking. Let's just get to painting. Once it's all built and primed, we can start the painting. To paint an army fast, you need to have a plan. Luckily, Lucas have one. An assembly line type painting process really does help speed up the painting. In this case, we start off by painting Hexed Lichen over all of the miniatures. If you have an airbrush, you can speed it up even more. And this purple is going to be the base for everything that we do today, and in the end he's going to show you how he does his purpley bases. Everything is just gonna come together because everything is worked from this Hexed Lichen purple. We're using dark sea blue to create the base tone, and with this we're not painting in the shadows, but we're using the dark sea blue as the first step to our blue highlight. We're gonna start highlighting the miniatures, and that's gonna be both for the smaller foot soldiers as well as the vehicles. We've also got blue-green on the palette, and Lucas gradually adds more and more the brighter he wants to go on the surface. Painting with volumes can be a bit daunting at first, but just remember to place the highlights on the miniatures on the surfaces that are facing towards the sky. And on the vehicles, he's creating a gradient from the dark sea blue to the blue-green at the bottom, and then edge highlighting everything, creating somewhat of a metallic reflection. To create this pale, elfish skin tone, we need 3 different colors: Bugmans Glow, Kislev Flesh, and Light Flesh. Lucas is using the volumes of the miniatures to gradually add more highlights. If you want a deep dive on how to highlight muscles, you can check out the Squidmar masterclass that we released in January. It's free! And while we watch Lucas paint his pretty elven skin, I just want to take a second to thank all of the awesome patrons out there who pledge a few dollars every month to make sure that my salary has been paid. A massive thanks to my top patron supporters. You guys are amazeballs. Let's start with the hair. We're just a few hours in and the miniatures are already looking quite killer. As a complementary color to all of the blue and turquoise tones, we're using orange. On the vehicles it's gonna be in the front, and all of the foot soldiers are gonna have it on their hair. Starting with Evil's Scarlet, then adding Troll Slayer orange, and as a final highlight, punching in a little bit of Lugganath orange. He's then using the same steps on the front of the vehicles, starting with Evil's Scarlet on the front and then adding Troll Slayer orange on a slightly smaller surface, and as a final highlight, adding Lugganath orange.
Day 2,
Yesterday I painted for 5 hours. I think we can manage to get everything else painted today.
To get a cool copper tone, we're gonna mix this Hexed Lichen together with Troll Slayer Orange. This is our first highlight, and then we just add a clean Troll Slayer Orange, going up to Lugganath Orange, and then adding a thin line of Ivory. This should really be enough to give you a really cool copper tone. There's quite a lot of metallic pieces and sharp edges on these Drukhari. Mix some Hexed Lichen 50-50 with Slaanesh Grey as your first highlight. You then go in on a thinner area with clean Slaanesh Grey. You can use the thin down colors to your advantage, going 2 layers on a smaller surface for every step that you take. To top things off, we're going in with some Ivory on this as well, either mixing with Slaanesh Grey first or just going in with a clean Ivory to add the final punches. It's up to you how much contrast you want to have. Lucas is using quite a lot of Ivory and it's looking really sharp. And on the runes, we're glazing in some Livery green.
When you're done painting all the metal, you have to stand in the snow for a bit.
Just one last thing to do. The best color of them all. On the helmets and on the windshields. We're using the dark sea blue we already have on the wet palette and mixing in 50-50 with Livery green for our first highlight. Lucas is focusing on the center of the helmet and then creating small sort of lines on the sides of the round area. As a second highlight, he's going in with a clean Livery green. To top things off and make it more contrasty, we want some Ivory in there as well, focusing that on the center of the top part of the helmet, and it's gonna look really cool, reflective and fancy. Lucas, what's that shirt you're wearing? I'm just super proud of our merchandise. They look really dope, and I would say it's probably the coolest nerdwear on the internet. We have a 90s orc on a skateboard. How freaking cool is that? We also have mummies, skeletons, more retro stuff. They all look amazing, so check it out in the video description. To make the bases, the one thing that just ties everything together, we need a base coat of Hexed Lichen. We're then gonna draw white lines across the base. There's no right or wrong here, and it's gonna look a lot better if every base is a little bit different. You're then gonna glaze with a magenta color from one of the sides of these lines. So it's gonna look somewhat like a magenta shadow. And as a final thing, we're glazing in with pink fluorescent color. And with that, we got amazing 80s glowing bases. Just look at the group together.
There we go, we're done. I think it's time for the grand...
I want to be part of this. It's time for the grand reveal. It took Lucas about
14 hours.
Finish this start collecting box, and most of all, I really like the colors. If you wonder about any of the tools Lucas used or the paints, we got that all listed in the video description, as well as on my website squidmar.com, and if you follow any of those links, Amazon kick a bit of money back. That's it for today. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to check out these cozy shirts we have. They look amazing and they're really nice to wear. With that said, have a great day. Bye bye.